Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our mobile app, that is the employees smart app. So as you can see on our screen, we have this particular app. So on our previous video, we actually created our login screen. So let me just show you. So this is how our login screen looks like. So on the login screen, we have the username and password, and we actually have our login button. Then you can, so for the password, you can key in the username. You can also provide your username, or even if it's a PIN, then you can sign in. So today I want us to go and do a binding. So we need to bind our login page to our view model. So if we just go to our view model, so I want us to do some items today on our view model. So on our view model, I want us to bind what we have, that is the username and password here, so that you're able to validate it via an API. So we are trying now to do authentication via the login, via our login page. So first thing first, so what I want us to do is I want us to first create, so here I want us to do observable. So we need to do here as observable, so observable object. So here we are going to import something. So we are going to import a toolkit. So we are going to use that. So then once we have that, so on our login, I want us to do here, this is, let's just do partial. Then the next thing that I want us to do is I want us to define our username. So we just need to do public. So we can do public, let's say string username. Then if we do that, then we can actually do something here interesting. So you can say observable property. So that is one way on how you can define our username and password. So then we can also do our password. So we can say password. So that is our password. So that is okay. Then the next thing that we need to define is also our login screen, our login button, I mean. So we are going to do here public. Then I can just say here async, then task, then I can say login. So if I do that, then I can actually do here. So if I say login, so this is a method. So then here I can actually do I can just say relay command. So we are using a community toolkit. So here, then I can have my try catch. Then I can just say here catch. Then I can say exception ex. Then I can do that. So this is my try catch, and this is how my button looks like. So if I go now to if I now have my username and password, so the next thing that I want us to do is I want us to bind this. So if you take this, you can actually now come back to our login page here. Then on the inputs, so let's just check on the inputs. So on the inputs for, let me close this. So on the inputs for text in, that is the text input for username, as you can see here, we can actually come here to the entry and we say value. So we say here text. So text, we can actually do now binding. So we can say binding, then we pass our username. So this one will be our username. The same case to our password. We can say on our entry here, we do text. So just do text, then do binding. And there's something that you will notice. So I can do your password. So there's something that you'll notice. On our login page, on our login view model, you see I'm using this IU as small, and the first letter is actually small. But what I'm binding on on my login page is actually username, which is capital, and password, which is capital. So you can also do the other way around. So for me, I prefer doing this way. So the next thing that we need to do also is our button. So we have our button here. So for the button, we just do command, then you also bind. So you just say binding. Then on our button, if you come to our login page, you'll realize that we have our login button. But this login button, when you are binding, you just do here login, then you do command, login command. So if you just check here the implementation, so this is our, this is our login button, and we are going to actually implement our authentication here. So we are going to do all those here. So on our login page, I want us to also introduce something. So when we click login, I want us to have something here at the top, that is activity indicator. So I want us to have activity indicator. We can define the height. You can say here, say 10, width, let's say 10. Then you can say here is active, is visible. You can do, if you just do here true, then confirm on our app. So let me just do that. So let me just launch our app and see. So then here we can do is running. So if you just do is running true, we'll be able to see our activity indicator. So let's just launch our app and see how that goes along. So as you can see, we are going to ensure that we are actually authenticating our mobile app with our API, and we'll be able to create an API within this particular series. So as you can see, let's just launch our app. So if you go to the login page, you'll realize that we have, so let's just see. So I realized, yes. So here, there is something that we need to do. So here we need to specify our, so let me leave it there. So I'm going to tamper with the grid. So I'll just do then, that is row 0, this is row 8, 9, then we do here 10, then we do here 11, 12. So that is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So then I think, so this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if we update, you'll realize that we have a small icon there. So let's just check on the height. So we can do here 80. So let's just check. So let's just see that. We can do here 80. Let's see. So you see, this is our, let me remove this and see if it will affect. Yes. So that is our width. And you can see this is now our activity indicator, and it's running. But now for us, we don't want to ensure that the activity indicator is running without any action. So what we need to do, if you go to our login view model here, I want us to define something here. So I want us to say here, I want us to define something. So we say a boolean. I want us to define a boolean, and you say here is we say is busy. So if we say it's busy, then we need now to define our, if you come back here, we can now bind it to our activity. So we say, instead of having is running as true, we just say binding, then we say is busy. The same case for is visible. Let's just apply, when it is visible, it should be running. When it is not, then it should not be visible. So you can do that to your app. So we've now done that. So the next thing, if you check on our app now, we have our login button and we have our inputs already binded. So what we can now experiment and check if forever, or if someone clicks on login, are we able to get the data from our login page? So let's just go back here. So what I want us to do now here, we can say if the app is busy. So let's just, if it's busy, then you can just return, don't do anything if the app is running. So someone can be clicking the button multiple times. So if someone is clicking the button multiple times, then you don't need to do anything. You just wait until the last action is done. But now I want us to check if we have, so let's just create, so I want us to create something. I want us to create a model, a view model. So let's just go back here and then you can call it login VM. So you can say here, so instead of having this view, so I want us to separate. So let's call, let's have another folder called MVVM. So let's just have that. Then I'm going to call these login VM. So I'm going to call it login VM. So this is my model. Then here I'll be having, so I'll just do public there. So I'll be having two things. So I'll be having the username and password. So I'll remove this. And also I can have something else. I can have the token. So let me have here token. I can also have the password and also I can have the username. So this is my view model. So whenever I'm sending data to the API, I want to send it in this particular format. So I'll come back here and now I'll say variable login equals to, you see, I have my login. So I'll just do login VM. So that is it. I can tap that and I'll have my, so I have my username. This one is giving me values from that and the password. Then I can now maybe now pass my endpoint here. So, and whenever this is, so let's just do this. So whenever I get the values here, if it's not running, I can set is busy to true so that we see the activity. So I want us to put a breakpoint, and you can even put a breakpoint here. Then we test our app. So let's just test our app. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, comment down below. So we notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed. So if you're one of them, please consider subscribing, like our video, and even comment down below. So we are going to connect our app to a REFIT, to an API using REFIT, and that is what we are going to do next. So let's just launch our app and see how this goes along. So in case you need the source code, you can comment down below and we'll be able to share with you the source code. And for those who want to buy us coffee, you can use the link down below to buy us coffee, and we will actually appreciate. This actually goes a long way in ensuring that we do more of these videos. So let's just wait and see how our app launch. So there we go, our app is launching. So let's just see how that goes along. So we are going to click a button on the app, and you should be able to see the values that you're going to key in. That is the username and password. So if you just go back here, our login page, then we are going to provide, so let's just provide some values, then provide some passwords here. Then if we click login, you'll realize that we have our breakpoint there. So if we proceed, so I want us to proceed. So if we proceed, you should be able to see that our is busy has been set to true. And if we move forward, we should be able to see that our login has values. So our username is that, and the password. So what is wrong with the password? We don't have the value for the password. So let's just confirm what is wrong with that. So this is password. So we need to define this. So this is password. So let's just confirm the binding on our login page. So the password should be, this should be, so here should be, so let's just confirm. Entry, we just need to do here. Let's remove this error, and then we can say here, so this is text, then we say password. So that should be password, and actually we are providing, so this is a string, but this should be okay. So let's just confirm. So let's just relaunch. So as you can see, our activity indicator is actually running. So that means we had actually set our activity indicator to is busy. So if we try now, you realize that it will not be going forward. So as you can see, this currently is true. So it will actually return. So you see it has actually exited. So whenever you set this to true, you need to come down here and actually switch it off. So we need to switch it off here. So you just do here for false. So I need to check why our password is not, so this should be password. So let's just relaunch our app again and try to check that. So we need to ensure that we are able to get the values for username and password before actually contacting our API. So our app is launching, so let's just see how that goes along. So we notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed. So if you're one of them, please consider subscribing, like our video, and even comment down below. So I'm going to sign in. So I'm going to sign in here. So I'll just pass my credentials. I'll also pass the password. So if I click login, so is busy is actually false. Then is busy is turned to on. Then if I proceed, you see I now have my password and I now have my, so if I just come to login, you'll be able to see the password and actually the username. So then the next thing will be now to send this data to an API, and we now wait for the response before authenticating you. But now there is one thing that I want us to address. Currently, when we launch our app, we are actually launching our app, and this is taking us to the, if we launch our app, it is actually taking us to the landing page, which should not be the case. We should be actually redirecting to the login screen if we haven't logged in. So how are we going to do that? So we need to handle that before even addressing authentication issues in our app. So let's just begin and start and see how we are going to do that. So let's just go to our code here. Then I want us to introduce something called, let's just create a folder. We're going to call it helpers. So you're going to call that folder helpers. So let's just call that helpers. So that is one of our folders. Then on this particular folder, I want us to create a class called settings. So just call it settings. So that is one of our class, and you're going to have this as public. So on this particular class, we are actually going to use preferences to keep some of the values so that we will be able to check if someone is logged in or not. So what I want us to do is, I want us to create an instance here. So let's just do here public static settings. Then you can say this is, let's just do this is current. Then here, I want us to do something. So I can do this. So let me do that. So I can do that. Then we can actually say this is new settings. Then you can you can say here. So we need to, so let's just do that. So I also want us to create our, to check if someone is logged in. So so you can do, if we say public static bool, then we say is logged in. So if we check that, then we need to actually check if someone is logged in. Then we should be able to redirect someone to either, if you are not logged in, we redirect you to login that is the login page. So let's just do here, I want us to do private static settings. Then we say this is let's call this instance, or you can call it, let's call it settings. So for my settings, I want to use it here. So let's just say here, return new, return settings. If it's null, then I can actually do settings equals to that. So if I do that, then I'm cool. So the next thing that I want us to define is actually this logged in. So this is login, is we'll actually be using to check if someone is logged in. So if someone is logged in, then we redirect them to the dashboard. If they are not logged in, then we redirect them to a login screen. So what I want us to do here, I want us to check. So I'll say return. So then we say here, so I want us to use preferences, then and say get. So we can do here dot default, then we say get. So we can do that. So we say get is logged in, then you can say default value, which is, we can say false. So, and you can also do a set. So we can say default is logged in, then we actually get the value. So the logged in, this is the key, and this is the value. So that is what we can actually use to check. So we'll be using now this to check if someone is logged in or someone has not been, is not logged in, then we should actually redirect them to the login screen. So the next thing that I want us to do now is, if you go back to our login, that is our main application here. So this is the main application. So every time our app launches, it takes us to this particular page. So what I want us to check is, if you come to our main page here, once it launches, we say if settings, so if you just come and say settings is logged in, so you see, if settings is logged in, then we can actually push this guy to the main page. We push them to the main page. What happens if they are not? So if we do else, we push them to the login page. So will that work? So let's try and see. So let's try and see. So if we just relaunch our app, we should be able to check if this guy is logged in. We should be able to push them to the main page. If they are not logged in, then we should take them to the login page. So let's see. So you are going to check how that goes along and actually takes us to the login page. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. So we are going to build this .NET MAUI app and actually enhance. And also, we are going to learn from you guys. So if you have other ways of doing it, comment down below and we will be happy to learn and even implement from you guys. So that is, so our app is launching. So we're actually launching our app, and we should be able to see how it will actually look like. So let's just wait. So our app is launching. So let's just see. So let's just see if it will hit our breakpoint, and how you see it has actually hit our breakpoint, and this is translating to false. So that means it should actually take us to the login screen. So let's just check if it will jump here. So you see, it has actually jumped there. So will it take us to the login screen? So let's just see. Continue. There we go. Let's see. So you see, it has actually taken us to the login screen. So currently, our app now, whenever you launch our app, you should be able to see it in our login. You should be able to see our login screen if you haven't logged in. So I think that is, so let me just go back to our, so there's something wrong on our, if you check on our logins page, there's a on sign or sign with is actually within some text there. So here we need, yeah, so this one should be 11. This one is 12. This one 13. That's why I was wondering previously what happened. So we need to add one here. So if we update now our app, we should be able to see that text. So you see, that is now cool. So currently you see now, whenever you launch the app, so let's just relaunch again. Whenever you launch the app, it should take you now to the dash, that is the login screen if you are not logged in. So as you can see, the app will open the login page. So there we go. So let me even remove the breakpoint. So I don't know if it is there. So let me remove the breakpoints. So you should automatically see the app loading the login screen. So you see, it is actually loading the login screen. So I think I leave it there for today. If you're new to this channel and you are watching how this video is going, like the video, comment down below, subscribe, and see you in our next episode. Bye.